Alright, this is a slight update to the last one of these that I did just yesterday. So I'm going to show a little bit more of the functionality in terms of error checking and how this will actually compute the values for the end user. So as we saw before, we can click through these and I can send these away just to make it a little easier to see everything. And once we get down here, you'll see we have these locks like we had before. It's putting the feedback in there. You got your possible points, all that stuff from the previous one. This total lock now won't show up until, or excuse me, any of these locks won't show up until you've actually entered a value. Again, just trapping to make sure that you don't go and change anything that you shouldn't be changing at a certain point in this whole operation. This is getting rather complicated, unfortunately. But if I click the lock, then I can change this value. You'll see if it's anything other than what was previously defined as the default, that it gives it kind of that warning box. It's not really telling you it's wrong, it's just kind of telling you, hey, this is different than what the default was. Same with the feedback over here. If I make any changes to this, it will alert me more or less through this little visual thing. Something else that it will do is, say I put that in and then after the fact I say, you know what, I actually wanted to give this an adequate now that I see that this wasn't really worth a 10 because my grading skill's poor. But so if I click adequate, see I get a message saying, you can't you've already overridden some values, so changing what your actual selected score is going to essentially remove these. So if I say, if I cancel, it will ignore my input for that. If I don't, see it changes my earned values, changes my feedback back, removes the statuses of them. It also goes down and it factors that into the total here. Same with changing any of these actually. So if I make this 7 points, see I got 39 there now. If I make this an 8 out of 6 because it was really good, really above my expectations. And then we could delete all of that, frankly, if we really wanted to. It just says what the word is there. You can also give final impressions, blah, 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 blah. And if you really want to, you can override this score here, too. So say that I wanted to give them a 41. You'll notice it does the same override box to say, hey, I've calculated everything above. It doesn't equal this. Again, this isn't saying that it's wrong to do this. Obviously, it put this functionality in so you can do it, but it needs to be as obvious as possible that you're overriding a value. Just because this isn't the norm. This is supposed to be for a, oh wow, this person did better than what I expected, or maybe there's a point value that's not accounted for, so you want to give them a little more credit because it's between values. Something else it'll do is if I switch this back, see it says obviously it has to say something other than null, but if you lock this value, it will reset to the original value. Are you sure you want to reset this? So if I say yes, you'll see that clicks back to whatever the computed one is. Same with this thing. So if I make this, I believe it was a 6. All right, 6, so it's fine. And close that guy, no problem. But if I make this a 7, see it calculates down there, and then I do it, same thing. If you lock this value, reset to the original value, 6, are you sure you want to reset this? If I say no, obviously it's just not going to do it. Yes, and you see it kicks that back too. So these are just some of the little things that we're working on, or I'm working on. And again, that can obviously always be overridden. So that was, which value? This one? So there you go. And then it'll change this back, recalculate the score below. Yeah, that's pretty much everything as far as I know in terms of this side of the interface with grading as to how it's going to function for the initial version. I'm going to next be working on actually getting these guys hooked up. They do submit data, but it's not submitting all of it correctly right now. So hopefully you'll be diving into that tomorrow because I believe the interface is working pretty well in terms of alerting you as to what's going on. See you tomorrow.